Georgia has housed two of college football's great linebackers the last few years. In 2017, you have the Butkus Award winner in Roquan Smith. The other side of that, this past season, you have the Butkus Award winner in Nakobe Dean. And both super impressive, super talented prospects. They came in and dominated and were the best at their position in college football. And so, and part of the reason why Georgia's in contention for being linebacker U. But who would you rather have? Nakobe Dean or Roquan Smith? I know that's a fun argument. Before we debate that, check out the link below, DAWGSTRUCTION, commemorative book. You're going to want to check that out and make sure you're going to dogpost.com. Ryan Curley here, debating Roquan Smith versus Nakobe Dean. I think it's interesting. I got the numbers pulled up. Obviously, I watched both of them, and I imagine that you guys watched both of them play. So at the end of this, I definitely want to see in the comments if you were, starting a college football team, starting a program, who would you rather have commanding your defense, Roquan Smith or Nakobe Dean? Now, if you break it down by the numbers, Roquan Smith dominates Nakobe Dean. If we're looking at their award-winning seasons, let's just to get the impressiveness factor out of the way, we'll do Nakobe Dean's first. 72 total tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he had that pick six and he had the diving interception. So the only area where Nakobe Dean wins really is the interceptions. Roquan Smith didn't have those interceptions. If you remember the bobbling interception Nakobe Dean had against Auburn, and then obviously the pick six that he had against Florida was an electric play. Really showed off his speed and his instincts in that football game. And then you look at Roquan Smith. 137 total tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. So those numbers are just eye-popping. Really eye-popping numbers. Roquan Smith was one of the best players in college football. Obviously, both of these players in these Butkus Award seasons got to play 15 games because both of these players went to the national championship and went to the SEC championship and played both of those games. The difference in their success, Roquan Smith's team and Roquan Smith's defense didn't beat Alabama. Nakobe Dean's did, so Nakobe Dean has that national championship edge over Roquan Smith. Barely. I mean, we're talking about second and 26, right, being the difference between the two in that regard. But no, I think both of these linebackers are super talented, and it just proves the way that Kirby Smart has recruited and the way he has developed talent with his staff. Now, I think that, and most people are going to agree with me on this 2021 Georgia Bulldog defense was better than the 2017 Georgia Bulldog defense. Now, talent-wise, Lewis Cine, Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall. I'm reading, this is an order of tackles, the leading tacklers. And you just keep going deeper and deeper down this list, and it's so impressive. Lewis Cine, Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall, Quay Walker, Nolan Smith, Darren Kendrick, Devontae Wyatt, Latavius Brini, Jalen Carter, Dan Jackson, Chris Smith, Keely Ringo, Trayvon Walker, Adam Anderson, Jordan Davis, Robert Beal. I mean, it was a ridiculous defense. Ridiculous. 2017 was really good because you had guys like J.R. Reed and Lorenzo Carter, DeAndre Baker, Taylor Clark, Dominic Sanders, but they weren't this 2021 group. Roquan Smith shined amongst a bunch of really good players, and he had the numbers. I think that Nakobe Dean shined amongst oh my gosh, I can't speak. I think Nakobe Dean shined amongst even better players, but Roquan Smith shined brighter. That's the only difference. The margin between these two guys, in my opinion, is so slim because you go back and forth and it's, this guy has this over the other. This guy has this over the other. And if you're a Dog fan, you just appreciate that you had both, right? Over the last few years, you appreciate that you had two majorly talented linebackers. But it's so interesting because I think Nakobe Dean was clearly the best football player on Georgia this year, and he shined on a defense better than where Roquan Smith shined. But Roquan Smith was the best player on that team. But Roquan Smith wasn't shining against the competition that Nakobe Dean was. So it's like it all adds back and forth. Nakobe Dean has the championship, Roquan Smith doesn't. Roquan Smith has the SEC championship, Nakobe Dean doesn't. So tomato, tomato. Obviously, Roquan Smith has the stats and the tackles, but Nakobe Dean has the turnovers. So it's very impressive. And Nakobe Dean had 5 passes defended. He was better in pass coverage, obviously, compared to Roquan Smith's too. So Nakobe Dean was a little bit better in pass coverage. I think they both had instinctual side-to-side speed. It was tough. I don't know who was faster. Both talented running backs. Roquan Smith was a top 10 NFL draft pick. I don't know where Nakobe Dean's going to fall. In all of the projections that I've looked at so far, he's not being considered a top 10 pick. I think he's a middle to late first round pick, according to the experts. If I need a linebacker, I'm anywhere in that 5 to 15 range. I'm grabbing Nakobe Dean. What are you doing if you're not grabbing Nakobe Dean? He's that good. Man, I mean, look, both these guys, these are 2 ultra talented linebackers that came through Georgia. And I think you're splitting hairs when you're picking between the 2 of them. Gun to my head, I think I'd rather have Roquan Smith. I think he was just slightly better. But you're not missing out with anything if you pick Nakobe Dean. Who do you guys want? If you were starting a program, you could only have one. Who are you choosing? It's like treat it like a draft. Who are you choosing? Let us know in the comments down below. And make sure you're going to DAWGSTRUCTION.com.